Hello everyone. Let us continue our discussion on the introduction to cloud computing. So we have discussed about what is cloud computing, why we should go for cloud computing, and then the different services that are being provided by the cloud providers. So we have already discussed about compute power, and in this session we are going to discuss about storage. So storage solution is very important, especially nowadays. You know that we have a huge requirement of data storage in different sizes and different types of data we have. So we need different type of storage solutions for different types of data. And again, in case of on premise servers, it is important that you have to predict what should be your storage requirement and what volume of storage requirements you have, and you have to plan everything, you have to buy everything, and maybe your requirements may change, and all the storage you have bought may not be required. So these are all difficulties we find when we work in the on-premise solutions. But in case of cloud solutions, then we don't need to bother about these many things. There are many types of storage available in the with the common cloud providers. So we can have some file system where we can keep data as a file. We have database, we have data warehouse, we have data lake to store some unstructured data. So different types of data, different volume of data that can be well handled by the different cloud providers like Azure. So that is very much cost effective and efficient and very easy to use storage solutions. Okay, then we don't need to do any pre-planning. You understand that, suppose now I am thinking that okay, I need some database of size 1 GB, so I can just borrow that from the cloud provider. I can pay for that, and maybe after 1 month or 2 month of time, then I'm saying that I don't need this 1 GB of data. I have very few data to store. Maybe I need only 500 MB. Then I can change that requirement, and I can go for that. Okay, from third month onwards, I will take only 500 MB of data, and I have to pay for only 500 MB as well. So that is a very much cost effective solution we can go for. And that's why I've written that we can scale up or scale down. So that is the advantage of cloud computing, that whenever I require, I can get more and more storage solutions. I have to pay the cost, of course, and when we don't need it, I can scale down as well. Means in case of physical hardware, it is very difficult. Like once you have bought something, then if you don't need it, then either you have to keep it with you or you have to sell it at a very low price. So it's a lot of loss at your end. But in case of cloud solutions, you can always do scale up and scale down as and when required. Okay, so we have discussed about these two main solutions provided by the cloud providers, that is compute power and storage. Now we'll discuss about some of the benefits of cloud computing which makes it so popular nowadays. Okay, so the first thing is cost effective. So we have discussed about is cost effectiveness, because it is like many of the services, most of the services actually you can take for a month, for a particular month, for a particular day, and sometimes for a particular hour, minutes as well. Means you have to pay only for the time you are using it. So that's the major benefit of cloud computing. You don't need to unnecessarily buy something or borrow something. You can take whatever you want, you just use it, and once not required, you can just give it back. So that's why it's very cost effective. And you don't need to spend money unnecessarily as well, because sometimes we cannot predict that whatever may be our requirement. So in that case, if we buy something, then it's kind of a loss at our end. So that is not required in case of cloud computing. Whenever you are starting using it, you just buy whatever you want, you just borrow those things, and once done, you can just return, and then you don't need to pay money. So that is the way it is very much cost effective. Okay, next comes scalable. So as I told you that it's like it's all dependent on your requirement. Based on your requirement, you can increase, you can decrease. So it's like you can do both ways of sales scaling. Like actually it is divided in two parts. One is called vertical scaling, one is called horizontal scaling. Vertical scaling means suppose you have a machine, then you can increase the memory, you can increase the storage, you can increase the hard disk, like that, right? So if you are increasing the efficiency, then it is like vertical scaling. And sometimes it may be possible that you are working with one machine, now you need two machines, three machines, four machines, like that. So you are increasing the hardware, so in that case it is called horizontal scaling. So all these types of scalings are possible in case of cloud computing. So that's why I can say it's scalable solution. Okay, now elastic. So it comes with the scalability, actually it's related to that. So elastic means that it is the solution, you don't have to specify everything beforehand. It's like kind of whenever you require how much, you can always scale up, scale down. And sometimes for some services it is possible that suppose for a company there are some employees and you are developing something for the employees, some application. So of course most of the time it will be used when the employees are in the office, maybe suppose from 9 to 5. So the usage will be high, and once they are back home at the evening or night, the usage is very less. So you can do some settings in the solution so that you will get more resources when it is required more, and you will get less resources when it is required less, and you have to pay less as well. So that's why it is called the elastic solution. So it can be increased, it can be decreased sometimes automatically as well. The configuration is such a way that it will be increased as and when the requirements are there, and it will be decreased as and when the requirements are not there. So the paying structure will also be done accordingly. So you will have lot of benefits on that, and you don't need to think that okay, I have taken this solution, so whether it will work for this many workload or not. So that part can be handled with these elastic cloud computing solutions. Okay, then comes current. What is that? Suppose you have one operating system, simple, in your laptop you have operating system. Then how the operating system will be worked in the most efficient way when you have the latest version of that. So every time we have to do some upgrades, we have to do enter some patch to make some efficient working, right? Whether in case of operating system, in case of different softwares, we have to think of the latest versions, latest patch, latest upgrades. So everything we have to handle. But in case of cloud solutions, you don't need to bother about it at all. If you have some virtual machine or container or some storage or anything you are using, so it's just like that you are using it. So it is being ensured by the cloud provider that you always have the latest solution, the latest, and with all the upgrades, with all the patches done, everything means the correct one, the healthy one you are getting. So whether it is hardware or software, you always get the best one, the current one. So that is the, I can say it's a major benefit of cloud computing, because we always have to bother about these things whenever we are working. But in case of cloud provider solutions, you don't need to bother. Then comes reliability. Yes, that's the most important thing. You understand that whenever you are using anything, you want to ensure that you have some reliable solution. So it's actually the cloud providers are doing a lot of effort to make the solutions reliable. Some backup facility, the replication of data. So lot of these features which make this reliable. So you can be ensured that you get some reliable solution. Then global. What is that? Actually this cloud provider, especially Microsoft Azure, I can say that they have their servers worldwide in the many locations of the world. So they ensure that whenever you need something based on your requirement, you can create your resources in that particular location. Maybe that will help in the performance of the system, your client interaction. So wherever it is required, it will be available in that place. So that way it has made wherever you are, if you are making any solution, you can always make it global, and you can choose different locations based on your requirements. So that you can do without any hazard, without any you don't have to put much effort on that. So all the available locations will be provided by the cloud provider, and you can select as per your requirements. So that's why it's called a global solutions provided by cloud providers. Okay, then security, that is also very important. Whenever you have some physical infrastructure, you have software, so you have always physical security. Physical security means, suppose where the servers are, there are some locks, and in the rooms there are some physical security personnel are available, so that um, anyone should not anyone should not enter that server room. Anyone cannot just go inside the room and do something. So all these things can be prohibited in case of on-premise servers. Okay, and that is about the physical security. And we have the digital security as well, that you can have lot of credentials, that some authorization, authentication, that no one can just like use your software. So all these security are implemented in the cloud solutions as well, because their physical servers are kept in such locations where no uh, no person can just like access them. It's like lot of lot of security levels are maintained for all the physical servers. And regarding the softwares also, means whatever applications you are keeping, everything in the cloud, so lot of security features are included, so that no data, no application, no code should be visible to someone who are not supposed to see it. So it's like very much strict security are provided by this Microsoft Azure solutions. Okay, so it is secure. So these are all the benefits of cloud computing we have discussed. So now you understand, you should have some picture in your mind that okay, these are the reasons people are moving to cloud computing. And you have to understand that it's not a like zero or one solution, that I will go to cloud computing or I will not go to cloud computing. It's not like that. What people are doing, maybe based on your requirement, you can move something from your on-premise server to cloud. Or maybe you saw some specific requirement. For some specific requirement, you are thinking that okay, this is very much beneficial for me, it's very appropriate. Suppose someone is starting a new business kind of thing without much money at the same time. So those are the times when we can think of cloud computing, and something can be moved to cloud computing. So it's like we can use it partially as well. It's not like zero or one solution, that either I will use for everything I will use cloud computing, or I will not use at all. It's not like that. You can move to cloud computing as per your requirement, then as per your experience you get, then you can decide on that whether you want to continue in cloud computing or not. But it's something which is there to stay, that we all have to agree that in this era of data science as well, so cloud computing has become very very important in that respect also, because whenever we have to handle so much of huge quantity of different types of data, then these all these benefits of cloud computing help us to really make it a feasible solution, some practical solution. So we have to move with the new era, and we have to learn cloud computing. Okay, so we have some introduction to cloud computing. In the next sessions we'll go in more detail about cloud computing with Microsoft Azure. So thank you for now.